Now, the rest of the story.
All right, welcome back. I'm getting ready to lock everything up because, surprise, surprise, we have a bunch of rain coming. If you guys can see that very well, probably not. It just looks really bright. There is a storm system coming up on the horizon. The problem is, and the irritating part really about it is the fact that the ground, if we were given another day of decent weather like this, we probably could have been planting by tomorrow. There are a couple people that are actually turning dirt right now. I kind of feel like I'm just kind of split because I really wouldn't want to be out working ground down if we're going to be, I was told anywhere between 1 inch to 2 inches of rain in the next couple days. The last time I checked the weather forecast, they were saying rain literally tonight, all day tomorrow, all the way into the next day, like up at least until noon. That was a short forecast, but it all depends on what it actually does. If it was decent enough, even like up to tomorrow, I could totally see us going out and working ground down right now with the intention that we'd go out and plant tomorrow. As far as soybeans go, that's what we're currently sitting at. I don't have my light. Oh, wait. Batteries are, I gotta go change the batteries. If you guys saw me using this thing is super handy. It's a big Larry. I got it from Herschel. I was using this the other night when I was digging up seed on the planter. This was really handy. So, this is what our soybeans look like as we have them in the planter. I did put a little bit of graphite on them. The graphite, as you start bouncing around the field, it kind of sifts through all of them. I really don't have much of a bridging issue just by giving it just a little dose of graphite. Soybeans, some years they can be a real hassle. Really hasn't been an issue this year, and I really should ask everything that is what it was treated with. I was just asked that earlier by a local, and okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, my long-term, short-term memory isn't the greatest, especially when I'm running on the amount of sleep that I typically run on. I technically just like to use my cell phone as a notebook, so I try to keep track of a lot of that stuff. We went through, Dad and I have gone through, looked at this planter today, looked it over, and there is one thing we have to do to it yet. We did not get the switch that'll turn on and off the fertilizer, the liquid fertilizer for the planter. We had the wire we had didn't have the right connector on it. Found out that there is no wire with the right connector on it, so we gotta change it ourselves, which is fine. I just didn't know that because we got the wire. I was told the wire that we got for it was just plug and play, that we'd be ready to go just from opening it up. I went through and washed the planter off because I did mud it up because I got in that low spot and got into some trouble. Not big trouble, not terrible trouble. I didn't get stuck or anything else like that. It's just that I got down and you can see I had it all cleaned off. I didn't get carried away with anything up along the frame because there is seed in these boxes, and the last thing I want to do is, especially with the pressure washer, spray water up underneath these because there is not a super strong seal there. I mean, my fingers can get in behind it, so water, it wouldn't be an issue. And the last thing, the absolute last thing I want to do is get these soybeans wet, because soybeans will swell up and that would just make a fucking nightmare for me. But what happened was today, this is kind of falls into the category of stuff that gives you problems that you didn't really realize it was giving you problems until you ran it for a little bit. I had no, that is not true. I had a hose, a hydraulic hose, that it goes in underneath this whole drive unit for the lift cylinders. And the way it was running so when it was, every time it raised and lowered, it was actually rubbing on that hydraulic hose. And I just happened to look down in there and I could see the metal wiring from the hose. So it didn't take very long to deduce that needed to be addressed. So what Dad and I did is we went and got a new hose made, went and got a bunch of odds and ends. I'm hoping that, well, part of the odds and ends are the stuff that should have been in the mail by now, for those of you that probably got them. So for those of you that actually know what I'm talking about, I hope you got them by now. We went and got a bunch of engine oil, hydraulic oil, just a lot of random stuff that is really nice to have, that you really should have around, especially when you get into this time of the year where you're planting and, oh my gosh. I'm still trying to catch up on sleep, and I don't know, hopefully it's, you can sleep for 4 hours or 10 hours. To me, it just doesn't matter. I'm tired regardless. So, I don't know. I messed up the other night though. This is the seed tender from Crop Max. I believe they said that it was bought. This is not a seed tender we've ever used before. This is completely new to me. But I ended up, had a mistake, accident, whatever. I broke the switch off of the downspout here when I was going to fill the planter. So what happened was that I actually had it sitting in the seed boxes of the planter waiting to get filled up. And what I did, and I'm not going to do it right now, but you pull this rope right here. You pull this rope and it pulls this locking mechanism up out of the way, and it allows you to swing this auger, this whole mechanism here, auger, folds and swings for you. So what happened was because it seems like I don't have to move the truck anymore. Maybe I should go back to moving the truck. But if I swing this auger just right, it allows you to fill the planter, the whole 30 feet across the whole planter without having to move the truck. So that's what I was doing. The only problem is when it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, I went to go fill the planter up, and I had this sitting down in the seed boxes like I did the whole night before. The only problem is that when I went and pulled this and went to go spin it around, it pulled this just enough where it dropped it on the ground. Managed to hit this switch, and then when you're actually pulling this, I'm about halfway from the planter and the engine, the motor that's running everything. So what happened was that it broke the switch. It was dark out. I was tired. So the first thing I did is I ran towards the planter to pick this up, because I just thought that the switch had got turned on. So I ran to it to pick it up. Realized that the switch was gone, but what it did is when it broke it off, it engaged to wide open. So it was trying to bring seed down. So I grabbed the end of the tube, threw it back in the seed box of the planter, and then managed to, I busted my wrist. Not my wrist. I busted the palm of my hand, and I ended up busting my leg. Getting back and shutting the motor off. So the little things that can kind of mess you up. The one thing I kind of liked about this tender though, it drops the seed down from the boxes, from up above, down to this tube, drops them down in there, and then it gets on the conveyor belt and it goes up to the other end. The only thing that we found, Ryan and I did when we were doing this for the first time, was we had it, if you're not careful and you have this tube at too much of an angle, the beans do not fall down out of the way into the tube fast enough that you'll actually plug it up there. You won't plug it, but it won't fall down fast enough, and you'll end up shooting soybean seed out. So that makes a heck of a mess. I don't know if you guys can see it or if you've seen it in any of the previous videos or anything Ryan has shown, but if you guys look to the left of my truck, if there's just a little bit of a pink hue on the ground, that is a result of that switch breaking and me running all over the place in the dark trying to get the seed to quit running all over the place. So the 46 is about ready to go. I do want to clean the cab out again. The VT, we gotta go through and grease that up again. I went through and washed off the JCB. I got all the mud cleaned off of that. So that looks pretty nice right now. So the pressure washer is getting a lot of use here lately. It's basically just maintenance stuff, really. Dealing with cattle. Ryan, I don't know if he's actually showing much of his cows. I doubt it, just because of everything that we are trying to do when we're tagging calves, but he did have a calf out of one of his cows that he bought. He said she's one of his spoiled cows. She's pretty mellow, and she was, but she had a calf, and she had a really nice looking little bull calf, built really nice, really dark, deep, like black hair coat on him. So really nice looking calf. Ryan was kind of bummed that it was a steer, or it's going to be a steer as opposed to a heifer. He's hoping for heifers. He'd take them all as heifers right now. Not necessarily means that he's not gonna, doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna keep them, but what he is thinking is it gives him options when he gets to that point. So Ryan's looking at upping his cow herd, which is more than obvious. Myself, I'm getting to where I think I need to start expanding my cattle operation a bit more. It's all about diversifying. I was talking to a local guy just today, and you know, it's the common theme: be diverse. You got to have multiple sources of income. That's really what we're all trying to do, and that's all what we're really trying to expand on yet. So it's really just getting there. So yeah, especially if I have kids. I mean, I'm gonna need that extra money coming in, right? So no, we don't have any kids coming yet. So everybody keeps asking me that. I'm trying to avoid that as well as I can for as long as I can. All right, that's all I got for tonight, guys. I may try to get some of the this and that stuff tomorrow filmed up. I do have a couple questions. I guess I could be doing videos on those. But you know what? Until tomorrow and we decide what to get uploaded, I think we'll just leave it at that. So until then, take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.